United States' real motive exposed as ceasefire talks aim to contain Iran's surviving missile threat. Donald Trump pushes pause in fighting, sparking fears of regrouping time for both militaries. Donald Trump reveals strategic urgency as intel shows Iran missile capabilities remain partly intact. Is Iran's strongest response yet ahead, with weapons hidden deep inside fortified underground missile complexes? Despite heavy strikes on its territory, Iran has reportedly retained a significant part of its missile capability, raising fresh security concerns among Western officials. According to U.S. intelligence assessments cited by the Wall Street Journal, Iran is still believed to hold thousands of ballistic missiles in its arsenal. Officials estimate that more than 1,000 medium-range missiles remain, out of a pre-war stockpile that was thought to be roughly 2,500. Despite the damage inflicted, Iran's forces are said to remain operational, with key launch systems preserved from complete destruction. Reports indicate that more than half of Iran's missile launchers have either been destroyed, damaged, or deliberately buried to protect them from further strikes. However, intelligence suggests that many of these launchers are now hidden inside fortified mountain complexes, making them difficult to detect and target. The Wall Street Journal reports that these buried systems can be repaired or retrieved when needed, allowing Iran to bring them back into service in a future crisis. U.S. officials warn that Iran could quickly reconstitute parts of its missile arsenal during any renewed conflict, even if it has suffered heavy losses. Even in a reduced state, Tehran's missile inventory is still believed to include thousands of systems that could be readied for deployment. Iran's extensive underground infrastructure has complicated efforts by both the United States and Israel to fully neutralize its missile capabilities. Analysts say Iran's resilience is rooted in buried facilities and launch strategies it has developed and refined over decades in anticipation of such attacks. While Iran's drone capabilities are thought to have declined, officials caution that Tehran could seek technological or material support from allied states such as Russia. Some officials say that securing a ceasefire is not only about stopping current hostilities, but also about preventing Iran from fully rebuilding its missile capabilities. In an interview with the New York Post, Donald Trump warned that the United States is prepared to launch military strikes if the ongoing talks with Iran fail. Donald Trump said, and I quote, "We have a reset going. We're loading up the ships with the best ammunition, the best weapons ever made, even better than what we did previously, and we blew them apart. And if we don't have a deal, we will be using them, and we will be using them very effectively." Unquote. Pentagon narratives have begun to diverge, as fresh intelligence indicates that Tehran has retained a number of missile launchers despite suffering serious battlefield losses. U.S. commanders say strikes have severely crippled Iran's defense industry, with General Dan Kane noting that thousands of munitions have already been deployed against Iranian targets. Even so, many analysts argue that Iran remains a formidable adversary, warning that it has the capacity to restore much of its military strength far more quickly than some in Washington suggest. Officials caution that future regional stability will depend not only on sustained military pressure, but also on the continued enforcement of economic sanctions. Iran, however, has made sanctions relief a key demand, turning it into a central bargaining chip in the ongoing peace talks in Islamabad. Trump's latest remarks on the peace talks underscore the urgency behind Washington's push to de-escalate with Tehran before the situation spirals back toward open conflict.
You're not going to let them toll the strait, are you? I mean, it's international.
No, we're not going to let that. It's international water. If they're doing that, nobody knows if they're doing that, but if they're doing that, we're not going to let that happen.
What would a good deal look like for you?
No nuclear weapon, number one. You know, I think it's already been regime change, but we never had that as a criteria. No nuclear weapon. That's 99% of it.
Strait of Hormuz as well?
Yeah, but that'll open up automatically. The answer is yes, but the strait will open up. If we just left, the strait's going to, otherwise they make no money. So the strait's going to open, but what we have is no nuclear weapon, but we'll open the strait anyway. Don't forget, we don't use the strait. Other countries use the strait. So we do have other countries coming up, and they'll help out, but we don't use it. It won't be easy. It won't be. I would say this: we will have that open fairly soon.
What's your backup plan? What's your backup plan if there's no deal opens?
You don't need a backup plan. We have the military is defeated. Their military is gone. They have, we've degraded just about everything. They have very few missiles. They have very little manufacturing capability. We've hit them hard. Our military is amazing, the job they've done.
Sorry, sir, is this a one-and-done talk, or are you open to more talks after this, depending on what...
I don't know. I can't tell you. I have to see what happens tomorrow. They've been talking for 47 years with other presidents, and we're not doing much talking. Thank you very much. Thank you.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.